try and understand Mongolia's economy a little better now. I'm joined live from Beijing by Candra Samekto. He's a program officer at the International Fund for Agricultural Development, covering Mongolia and several countries in East Asia. Chandra, thanks for joining us. Mongolia had a tumultuous decade. It's an economy. In 2011, GDP was more than 17%, I think the highest in the world. 5 years later, it was 1%. Where is it now, and where do you project it going?
Probably, I would say better to look at the historical from the Mongolia economy itself. Probably if you look at the early 90s, that Mongolia faced very difficult time when the inflation is up to triple digits and unemployment rising, and then start to picking up the economic growth because of the boom in copper price. And it seems that the cycle coming up again after the about 9% growth, and between 2012 to 2014 might be one of the highest in the world, and now start declining, and then picking up again here in the last few years, 2017, and the economic growth to picking up, and then 2018 recorded at 6.something%. And for the next 10 years, I would still optimistic that the country will maintain its good economic growth about 6% to 6.5%. But again, the question is whether the country will prepare for another price drop in the mining industries that will be faced given difficulties in the economy.
What role is China playing in Mongolia's economy in terms of foreign investment and the Belt and Road Initiative?
So I think first the Belt and Road Initiative offer potential good opportunities for boosting the economy, because China plays a very important role. It's a very strategic partner for Mongolia. Looking at the import, for example, China is supporting 30% of the import commodities to Mongolia, and the other way around, like China is absorbing more than 80%, up to 85% of the total export of Mongolia. So it's quite a big opportunities to link up between China and Mongolia. And with Belt and Road Initiative, it's not only about two countries, but also the whole corridor, China, Mongolia, and Russia.
Ulaanbaatar spent years trying to break free from the Soviet orbit. Are there concerns domestically that it might get locked into Beijing's sphere of influence? And more so, might it escape it by looking elsewhere? I know that recently the U.S. became the fifth, what's called a third neighbor country, the fifth one to do so.
I would say it's better looking as an opportunity instead of the threat or the risk. Because with the economic condition at the moment, so the neighboring countries should work together, looking at the opportunities how to grow up as a center of economic growth as a region. And within the corridor, there will be much, give more like a multiplier effect for the whole countries.
Batulga Khaltma took over as president 2 years ago last month, also from the Democratic Party. But in terms of economic policies, how has his leadership differed from his predecessor, the skilled veteran politician Tsakhiagin Elbegdorj?
So can you repeat again the question? I'm a bit lost.
How is President Batulga's economic policies different than Tsakhiagin Elbegdorj's policies were?
I think the focus of the economics in Mongolia keep consistent. Let's say the industries, the main industries contributor for the GDP, mainly from the minings and textile, and also the agriculture, because agriculture also plays very essentially for the long history of the economic in Mongolia. And it's industries between textile and livestock and agriculture is interrelated to each other. And also the mining is quite in a risk, and then also dependent on the fluctuation of the price. So how to address between the mining industries, minerals products, and also textile and agriculture and livestock is also become probably the challenge. And then looking at the sustainability, and then also as an IFAD, we are working closely with the rural development. We are posting rural development economy, working closely with the herders, farmers, smallholder farmers in the remote area. We look at how they are also facing challenges in terms of the climate, because the long winter, very cold winter, also put them in a hard condition. So I would say that the strategic, the policy of the economic in the Mongolia will look at the main three industries in the countries.
Candra Samekto, thank you for your insight on Mongolia.